Hey everybody, it's Arcana Mortar. Welcome back to my channel, and I know that I said I was going to change my name, but I don't know what's happening anymore because I'm just literally out of control of my life. I don't have a job anymore. I'm unemployed. I have nothing to do, and I'm just slowly going crazy. I'm just going to make a vlog because I've been wanting to make vlogs ever since I lost my job, and a lot has happened since I last made a vlog. Like, I got all my teeth fixed. I had 13 cavities and 3 root canals, and I had to get my wisdom teeth pulled, and I got braces put on, so now my teeth aren't going to be up anymore. So I'm gonna be doing a vlog about my first convention ever while I do makeup, because I'm actually doing a photo shoot later as Eddie from the It movies. I'm gonna be doing some Eddie makeup while I talk about this first convention experience. So those of you that don't know, or who needs a reminder, I've been on YouTube for a little over 10 years now. I started with animations back in the day, and I slowly just moved on to convention vlogging around 2011, which was when I first started going to cons. And I have a video on my channel somewhere of my first convention ever, which was OhioCon 2011. Where the there it is. I found my beauty blender stick that I haven't washed because I have no class. Also, I'm really sorry if this is not in focus. If you all want to buy me a new camera, buy me a new camera. But anyway, my first convention was OhioCon 2011. And don't get me wrong, I really had a good time at this convention. It was probably the best convention experience I've ever had in my entire life. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Part of it was just because I wasn't allowed to do anything. I've talked about my strict parents before. It was mostly my mom that was strict, not so much my dad. But basically, it was my mom's way or the highway, so I really wasn't allowed to do a whole lot. And the only reason why I was able to go to this convention in the first place is because my parents were separated at the time. I was about 16 years old in 2011. I think I was junior or a senior in high school. I think I was a junior. So I hadn't gone to any conventions before. I was supposed to go to one in like my sophomore year of high school, but it never happened because my mom is crazy. The only reason why I was able to go was because my parents were separated and I was living with my dad. Literally, that was the only reason why I was able to fly. Because if I was still living with my mom, I feel like it really wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have started that whole convention career that I had going on. I'm just gonna take off this nose ring. Like, I hate this nose ring. I've had it since I was 16, but I just can't not have it because it makes my face feel naked. So anyway, my first convention ever, and I was so pumped. Like, I was literally like counting down the days for it, like in the hundreds. Oh, 254 more days till OhioCon. And then finally I'm able to go, and my dad drops me off at my friend's house, and that was just the most liberating freedom I've ever felt. It was just amazing, and I think that's part of why it made the convention experience for me so good, was because that was the first time I was able to do something that wasn't, you know, going down the street to a friend's house. You know, that was the first time I was able to do something without parental supervision. And I think that kind of comes into play with later on of why the story is so up. Like, in hindsight, I'm just like, yeah, maybe that shouldn't have happened. I was growing up in Cincinnati, and this convention was in Columbus, which is about an hour and a half away. We're like a little ways away from home, and we didn't have parents there. Like, it was literally just our friends, and we're all like high school students, literally all by ourselves. Like, the only adult was our friend's mom, but she wasn't even in our hotel room. She was in a different hotel room across the hall. We get there, and it's a lot of fun. There's no parents, no rules, no nothing, and it's not like I was doing anything bad. You can see the video, like, I was mostly just a big weeb nerding out, going to the dealer's hall and shit. That was really weird. I just saw like the shutter on my camera blink at me. What the f? But it wasn't like I was doing anything bad or illegal. Like, I wasn't doing drugs or getting drunk or anything like that. I wasn't that crazy as a teenager. Like, I can't say I ever partied or did anything like that. Like, I'd be lying if I did. So we're at the con, and it's a lot of fun, and I was what the f this, okay? I just have like 8-year-old makeup, no big deal. Who cares if you get infection? So we were there, and I was cosplaying, pretty sure I was Haruhi Suzumiya, which was like really cool and relevant back then. And I know I was a really shitty big sister for BioShock 2. I was also a really shitty, like even shittier NCR Ranger from Fallout, first Fallout cosplay, because Fallout New Vegas just came out literally like 3 months before this con. Because Fallout New Vegas just came out in a brand new game, like everybody was really pumped over it. There was a lot of Fallout cosplayers at this con, and we all like kind of ended up in some group. Like, it wasn't even planned. It was just like a little thing that we ended up doing. We were all like mingling around in a group. Most people were older than me though, like not like significantly, but they were like obviously all adults, and I was just like the one awkward minor in the group. Everybody in the group knew I was a minor, and I'm pretty sure you can see where this is going, and my friend Nick can vouch for you because that's the con I met him at. Hi Nick, thank you for watching this video. I love it so much. Nick is my friend who also makes the character Tycho in my Fallout comic, which by the way you should totally read. Just shameless self-promo here. So yeah, that's where I met Nick the first time, and Nick was only like a couple years older than me. But there was also this one cosplayer. I don't want to say his name. I'm just gonna call him by the character that he was cosplaying. He was cosplaying Swank from Fallout New Vegas, which if you've ever played it, Benny runs the Tops Casino, and his right-hand man, I guess, is Swank. So basically he's like the person in charge after, and if you decide to kill Benny, he takes over the Tops Casino. So there was this guy cosplaying Swank, and like, I don't want to be an asshole, but it wasn't very obvious that he was cosplaying Swank. I mean, he was just wearing like a blue suit, carrying around a gun, telling everybody he was Swank. I mean, I guess that's the costume, but I don't know, you do you, boo. He kind of stuck around me a little too close for comfort, and so I'm 25 now, and this is why this gives me the heebie-jeebies, because this guy told me he was like 25, and I was again 16 years old, and I was very small and petite. Like, I'm still small and petite now, but I was a lot smaller and petite back then, and I was vulnerable. You know, my first con, I was like, nothing bad could happen to me. I'm having so much fun, you guys. Swank was just being Mr. Creepy Pants at this convention. And I remember I was stupid enough to give him my phone number, but this was back before smartphones. Like, nobody had a smartphone. Like, I had like this stupid slide-up flip phone kind of thing, and I gave him my phone number so he can get a hold of me at the con, because we didn't have smartphones to get on Facebook and be like, where you at? So I actually like gave him my phone number without even thinking about it, which was bad news bears. I should have never done that. This shoot is literally just gonna be being naked, by the way, because it's like a lewd shoot. So if anybody likes Reddy and wants to buy a lewd shoot of Eddie and Richie, just hit me up. So anyway, where was I? It was like still the first night of the con, and I don't know how I keep looking into the light. Like, don't look into the dead lights, but I keep looking at it. It's like I'm a moth. I don't know how I did this at this con, but I would go to bed at 5 a.m. and get up at like 8 a.m. the next day and just be fine the whole weekend. Like, I wouldn't be tired. It was just wired, and I don't know how I was able to do that. I don't know if it was just my 16-year-old energy, because literally I cannot do that now. It was the first night, which was Friday. We literally skipped school to go to this con, by the way. I had to get like a parental permission slip just to say like I was going on a trip or something. And I remember him asking me, Swank, the creepy guy, 25-year-old that was talking to a 16-year-old, mind you, asks me what my favorite flavors are. That just seems like an innocent question. Anybody could ask me that question and I'll tell them it's strawberry or banana. And nothing has changed since 2011. Those are still my favorite flavors. So I didn't think of it as a weird question at the time. And honestly, if this hadn't happened and somebody would have asked me that question, I still probably wouldn't think it was weird. It's almost like asking somebody what their favorite color is. You don't look at it, it's not that deep, you know? So I told him that it was strawberry and banana, and he was like, oh, okay. He like made a mental note of it. And I didn't really question it. I just thought it was just, he was just curious of what my favorite flavor was. He stuck around me quite a lot at the con, and I met some other friends there. One of them, which is my arch nemesis now, which that's another story. Well, actually, I have two arch nemesises, but this is the first arch nemesis that I have. That's where I met him. I met so many sketch people at this con, okay? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just rambling, but anyway, it was day 2 that rolls around, which was Saturday. I was still cosplaying that shitty Fallout Ranger. I don't know why I thought it was so good, you guys. People like surprisingly took my picture a lot, but that was back when nobody had standards and everybody would just take pictures of anything, and we all had bad cosplays. We all had shitty wigs from Party City. Also, I'm not knocking on cosplayers or anything. I'm just saying like that's how it was back then. Cons now, everybody's decked out and all this crazy shit because like we have access to those materials now, but back then it was just like so much simpler. I just feel like it was so much more fun. But anyway, I think he was still cosplaying the Swank dude from Fallout, because I guess that was his only costume. I don't know. I think I only just cosplayed the same Fallout character because I was just really hyped about it and I had so much fun the night before. And he meets up with me, and oof, this is where the story takes a really bad turn. Oof. How to make myself instantly look my age 101. Draw in your smile crack. I don't know what it's called. It's day 2. He finds me again because I gave him my number. And we're walking around the con, and there's this part of the convention center that's never used for OhioCon. At least since I've been there, they've never really used it. For those of you that have been to OhioCon probably know what I'm talking about. So like the Greater Columbus Convention Center is pretty decently sized. Before I went to other cons, it was probably the biggest building I've ever been in. There's like an end of like a wing of the convention center that's almost always being used by something else. OhioCon always has some other convention going on at the same time. Like one year it was like a Jesus convention, another year was like a candle convention, and it was like cheerleaders one year. There's like another part of the convention that's pretty dead. And it's an area that I don't know why we even went over there. I guess we were just exploring, having a good time. I don't know. He kind of just lured me into this area somehow. Like I wasn't uncomfortable or anything, because you know, I was 16 and I didn't know any better. I don't want to be like, I'm a minor, I don't know anything, but I was literally a 16-year-old. I'm not thinking about weird shit when I'm 16. I don't want to like be like I was a prude or anything, but I was literally just there for a good time. We're walking and there's literally not a single soul around this convention center, because it's just the dead part that was being used by some landscaping convention. I don't remember, but we went there and he like gets me into like, it's not really a corner, but like an area where there was these seats and stuff, and he like pulls out of his pockets 2 condoms, and one is flavored strawberry and the other one is flavored banana. I just kind of sat there. I like shat myself a little, but I was also like confused because I'm like, why are you showing me that? Like, that's my favorite flavor. So I think at the time I also had a boyfriend. I wasn't even taking into account his age because, you know, once again, I was 16. I didn't really know. And I've been through things, like this is gonna get really TMI, but I've been through things before in the past where I've been groomed by adults, and I just thought it was not weird back then. So I was just kind of sitting there like, I knew where this was going, but I just didn't want to believe it. And I just remember just being like, oh, okay. Haha, you're funny. That's so funny. That's a funny joke, pulling out condoms and my favorite flavors. That doesn't mean anything. I know what he's hinting at, but like I'm also, like I said, I'm 16, but I'm not stupid. So like I'm trying to get the conversation to go somewhere else. He was like, yeah, you can text me about it later so we can like, you know, try him out. He's like saying it like in a really slick way, like he's trying to, but I'm just like, not only that happens, but it gets worse. While we're in the something fell off the bed. And you think it wouldn't be able to get worse, but it does. You ever just do your makeup in a day? You're like, yeah, I gotta put some glue on my eyebrows. Yeah, this makes the look 100% good. Trust me. It gets worse because, like I said, we're in this corner area and nobody's around. And this was before I had surgery and any of that jazz. The way to describe the outfit I was wearing, I was in this trench coat kind of thing that was my boyfriend's mom's, and I had like this weird tube top because I thought it would be cool to be like sexy NCR Ranger, even though like I was 16. It was just my belly was showing. Big deal. I've seen minors do worse things. I knew it wouldn't draw that much attention anyway because, you know, I'm a minor and I look like a minor. I didn't have big breasts or some tickle bitties going on. Like I was literally just a 16-year-old. He literally gropes my chest and I'm just like, I was just so taken aback by it. Like I didn't try to stop him and I didn't say anything, but I've noticed my reactions in situations like this because I've sadly been in quite a few situations. My response is to freeze up, and that's what I did. It's just groping my chest. I'm just like sitting there like block of ice. So he was doing that. He also noticed that I have belly hair, which when I was 16 that shouldn't have been normal, but what happened was my mom would make me very self-conscious when I would go swimming. She would point out my body hair because she was a bitch. I would shave my stomach, it would grow back darker. And people say that's a myth, but that's what happened. Like it literally grew back darker. So I had like these like belly hairs just poking out just barely because like I hadn't shaved the night before because, you know, I was like up till 5 a.m. He just kept making comments like, oh, that's confusing. That's so confusing. I'm just confused about that. What's going on? Like, you're attractive, but I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. And it made me like really self-conscious, first of all, because you would literally just grope my chest, showed me your flavored condoms, and now you're talking about the hair on my stomach. What? I make up some excuse. I'm like, we should get out of here. I want to go with the other friends. I want to meet up with other people. And he's like, okay, let's go. So I meet up with some other friend, one of them being one of my arch nemesises now. At the time he wasn't, but I met him there. That's what I'm trying to say. Shit. I don't know where Swank goes. I think he goes to the bathroom or something. Goes to get something to drink. I don't remember. But I remember I found my friends in the corner. And I'm like, y'all gotta help me. I don't know what just happened. I knew what happened was wrong. I just didn't know what to do. And I didn't really want to tell anybody because I didn't want to let it ruin my convention. So I was telling them like, yo, he like groped me. He showed me his condoms. He was talking about my stomach hair. Now I'm self-conscious. I gotta go back to my hotel room and shave it off. They were like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because they knew he was 25 or 26. And they knew I was 16. I I was talking to them about it, and they basically made an oath to hide me from him for the rest of the con, and we gave him this nickname, the Brian Peppers of Ohio Con, because not gonna lie, there was some eerie resemblance there. I don't know how I did my Eddie eyebrows last time to make them look so convincing. Oh, it was like that. I just have to make myself look concerned. So yeah, they like hid me from him for like most of the con, and every time we would see him get near us, we would go and hide. And I remember, oh god, I remember he kind of got mad. Not my friend, but the swank Brian Peppers of OhioCon dude got mad. He was acting like I friend zoned him because he noticed I was hanging out with my other friends because they were keeping me safe, and he got kind of butthurt about it. He was like, I did all that stuff for you, kind of bullshit, like guilt tripping me in text messages, blah blah blah. That was just bad. My memory's so fuzzy, or else I would tell you more details of how up that was, but honestly it's just so long ago. I remember on Sunday I mostly hung out with those friends that kept me safe from him. We left pretty early. I think we left around 1 or something that day, so we weren't there for very long. I think I blocked his number. I'm not sure. I blocked his Facebook or something, because like after that con I never really heard from him again until a couple years later. I saw him in a dealer's room at Colossal Con or something like in 2014, and I was a Homestuck cosplayer, and I said, hey, I remember you, and he was like, oh hey, kind of seemed pissed to see me because he realized who I was. At that time I had been like 19 years old or something. That's the story about how some 25, 26-year-old came after me, a 16-year-old, at my first convention. And no, it didn't ruin my convention. It's just something that I look back on now and I'm just like, wow, that was really weird. That shouldn't have happened, and I should have done something about it. I didn't, because I was young, and I just want to make this to say like, hey, like, because I see it all the time where young cosplayers think it's cool to have friends in the con community that are older, and I don't think anything is wrong with it. Back then I thought that too. I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I thought it was a little weird that he was touching me, but I didn't think it was because of his age. I was just more worried about that he was just touching me, you know. I would have been weird about it if anybody did that. But now that I'm older, I look back on that, I'm like, that was so wrong, and I should have told somebody, but I never did. I never pressed charges or anything. I don't plan to, because, you know, it was just a long time ago. It didn't really me up that bad, to be honest. Just to let you know, I don't want to be back in my day or listen to the adults. Literally, when you're older, you're gonna look back on that and realize, yeah, that's creepy. So if you're a child, teenager, like just a minor in general, please be careful if you're hanging out with at cons, especially when your parents aren't around. Remember that a lot of times these older cosplayers don't have good intentions, no matter how nice you think they are. I should have taken the hint the first time he pulled out those condoms and just noped the out of there, but I didn't, because he was nice to me. Just know who you're with. Stick to people your own age group. It gives me the creeps whenever I think about it. Just first of all, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, y'all. Oh god, I'm not even done with my makeup yet, because I was just spending my whole time talking about the chest of the molester at OhioCon. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video and learned something from it and like take something out of it. It's like, I just want to be that person that advocates in the cosplay community convention safety, because we didn't really have that back then. We didn't really have the cosplay isn't consent going on. You would just think it would be common sense, you know, but we have that all now, and it's a good thing that we do. But I also still want to be the person that says, hey, I went through this and this isn't okay, and if this is happening to you, you need to get out. You need to tell somebody. You need to tell the con staff. You need to tell your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, somebody, your cousins, your friends, and just do something about that, and chances are that person at the convention will get kicked out. That's my story. I hope you enjoyed it, but if you did, just give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!